enjoy it when people applaud and I haven't done the thing yet. So anyway, I'll see if I can earn your applause here this morning. I am so happy that we could get together here this morning because it gives me another chance to talk about some of my favorite animals in the world, the insects, the worms, and some of their other close relatives. And yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about them because there's some things I want to share with you, but we certainly can't learn everything about insects in one get-together like this. So there are many, many, many wonderful books and videos and websites that you can explore on your own for the rest of the summer and get some bug learning in that way too. So, alrighty, oh boy, bugs, insects, worms, where do we start? There's so many different kinds. Well, I think the place to start is let's make sure we all have a picture in our mind what these animals look like and what they can do. And so just to help us out here, let me quickly find, oh, here we go, my really big rubber grasshopper here. As an example of an insect, if we do a quick leg count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs. That's kind of special because, as it turns out, insects are the only animals that are 6-legged. We said that insects don't have a backbone, but do they have a skeleton? Do they? They actually do have a kind of very interesting skeleton, and it can be found on the outside of their body. You can see a bug's bones. All right, I brought my assistants here. If Dakota right here was an insect, this is where her skeleton would be located. It would be a hard covering and it would cover her whole body, not just her arm. She would live inside of her bones. And these bones protect her from danger, and they protect her from, or they help her stand up and move around, as well as protecting her. So insects have a special kind of skeleton. Oh, yep, there's the name right there, called an exoskeleton, which means outside bones. So bugs do have a special kind of skeleton. It's not inside their body like ours, it's on the outside of their body. Thank you so much. How do you suppose insects can hear? What part of their body do you think they might use?
Bones.
It is attached to their skeleton. Yeah, it's part of it. What do you think? Their antenna. All right, Cheyenne's going to put on some bug antenna here. Yep, I raised a bunch of bugs. But anyway, insects have these 2 long antennae sticking out of the top front part of their head, and they're covered with lots of little hairs. And those hairs pick up, well, they pick up the sound of my voice. They would pick up vibrations like when you stomp your feet on the ground or on a tree. That's how insects hear. Their antennae detect the sound, so they hear with their antenna. Now it's true, some insects, like certain grasshoppers, have an eardrum on the inside of their front legs, both sides. Some insects, like the cicadas, that are starting to sing now up in the treetops. It's hard to call it singing, it's kind of a loud, annoying, buzzing sound. But anyway, they have a large eardrum right on the side of their body on a part known as the thorax. So some insects have other ears, but most use their antenna. How do worms and insects see things? Can they even see things? What do you think? How about worms? Let's do worms first. Do they have eyes? No. Can they still see?
Yes.
In a sort of way. They can tell if it's dark or light. They can sense the brightness of the light. And what time of the day or night do you think is their favorite? Day or night? Mostly night, yeah. So they come out of the ground, out of their tunnels underground, come out to feed at night, drag food back in to feed on all the next day. And so, yes, they definitely prefer the nighttime.
Yes.
Many insects do too. Let's see, so worms don't have eyes, but they can sense light. How about insects? Do they have eyes?
No.
They do. In fact, they have 2 kinds. Right in the middle of their forehead, they have 1, 2, 3 little eyeballs that work like a worm's skin. They just tell them if it's daytime or nighttime. They sense the brightness of light that might be around. And I think I said they were called simple eyes. On the other part of their head, kind of more around the side here, insects are often equipped with 2 other eyes that are very special and called compound eyes. And they work in a very unusual way. Ta-da! How do you like my bug eyes? Yeah, it looks like a surprise, doesn't it? And indeed, a bug's eyes are popping out of their head, and there's an important reason for that. Now, with the help of your imagination, if you can pretend with me for a few moments, Every little hole that makes this screen here, and each of the little holes that make this screen over here, are now little itty bitty eyeballs. So yes, worms can kind of see, insects can definitely see with those compound eyes. There's a page underneath that says where they came from, on what date it was caught, and what it was doing, and then of course the bug itself is kind of like the illustration. We can see the bug, so we collect these just like people collect books because this is information about insects. And oh, and here's some of those bloodworms too. I guess we should put them, they look more like these worms, but they're actually related to the beetles. And then one more here. Oh, a new addition to our zoo. We picked up a hermit crab yesterday while we were around town, and one more here. Ah, we brought our roly-polies. Anybody know what any other names for roly-polies? Yeah, most of them are tiny enough to say so it doesn't crash to the floor.
You know what? They got 10.
Yeah, so red worms. Anybody want a worm?
These guys are cool. She has a painted shell.